What's up, my YouTube friends? It is Sasha Plays. In this video I would like to share my ideas and opinion on if you should use GarageBand or Logic Pro. First of all, a small disclaimer, I'm not a professional musician, I'm a hobbyist. I have a couple of tracks on Spotify and my first release is coming out rather soon. I'm doing a music diploma and I'm learning how to use Logic Pro, but again, I just produced a couple of tracks. At the same time, most of people who are thinking should they use GarageBand or Logic Pro are also not professionals and may not become professionals ever. So they might think that investing into more professional software is a worthwhile investment, but are they actually right? And I have produced several tracks in GarageBand, I have also produced some tracks in FL Studio, and I produced and mixed some tracks in Logic Pro. And here is my opinion on what is the difference between two when it comes to, let's say, hobby and semi-professional music production. First of all, I do believe that Logic Pro and GarageBand are coming from the same code base. And when you go to Logic Pro from GarageBand, you still feel kind of home, especially in a simplified mode. It still works fine and it does look okay for you, so you're not getting completely lost. Logic Pro obviously provides lots of more plugins and lots of more sounds, but if you're just a hobbyist musician, it doesn't often help, it can actually confuse you more. But at the same time, I would like to get this straight. GarageBand is intentionally limited, so it is not impossible but a bit more difficult for you to provide a decent track. One of the biggest limitations is that you can't see your sound level in decibels and you can't see your peak levels, which is extremely annoying when you're trying to mix things and when you're trying to master things. There are workarounds for this. For example, you can install third-party plugins, or you can learn how to use the GarageBand level indicator, which is possible to kind of deduce your decibels level from this indicator. Obviously, it's not going to be accurate by any means, but it can be good enough for you. And you can also just try to master in some other program. Logic Pro provides all these capabilities and more than that, but does it worth £200 or whatever the cost for Logic Pro is now of investment? People do tend to think that investing in a more professional software will make the music magically better, but it won't. If you are a bad musician in GarageBand, most likely you're going to be a bad musician and producer in Logic Pro and any other program. It's less about the program and it's more about you knowing how to do your stuff. In addition to that, it's not only the software which is important. It is also your headset has to be professional, so if you have an expensive software but cheap headset, your music will not sound great anyway. One other downside of a GarageBand would be the convenience of working with the MIDI editor. So if you are recording this from MIDI controller, this is fine, but it is less convenient to put some notes using your mouse than it is in the Logic Pro. And it seems like making sense because GarageBand is kind of tailored for more live recordings, so you can record live your instruments, you can record live your MIDI controller, and less optimized for electrical musical production. You can also see this by the fact that there is no sound synthesis or no proper sound synthesis plugin in a GarageBand, at least off the shelf. So if you are interested in sound synths, GarageBand is not for you. If you're a starting musician, you're just starting to produce music, does it worthwhile to invest in Logic Pro? And I would say, well, you would probably better spend your money on the gear, which would be your audio interface and your headphones, because those will impact the sound of your music more than the switch to Logic Pro. And when you produce, let's say, 10 or something like this tracks in GarageBand and they sound decent, if you feel that producing music is your cup of tea, then you can actually switch to Logic Pro, and the switch will not be very difficult and you will be able to use all your GarageBand projects in Logic Pro without any issues. They just work plug and play. You just open them in Logic Pro and they just work. Funny thing though is that I find the kind of limiting nature of GarageBand as helping when I'm producing music. Lots of features which exist in Logic Pro, and frankly speaking, many of them I don't use, and I don't know like half of them what they are for in the first place. When they are taken away, my workflow becomes actually more streamlined. I like the pitch editor or timing editor in GarageBand more. It feels just less convoluted. It obviously less powerful, but still it does the job for me. I like the automation in GarageBand because it's also very streamlined and there is no bells and whistles. It's just the minimum viable product for automation that you have. And I also like the fact that I have limited number of plugins in GarageBand, and I actually went even more than that, and I created a list of plugins that I'm using in my tracks, and I'm not using anything else unless I really have to, and unless I know why I may want to use this other plugin. So that's my opinion about if you should use GarageBand or Logic Pro if you are a starting musician. Please let me know in the comment section below if you agree with that, if you think we should use some other software, Ableton Live, Apple Studio, or something else, probably LMMS, the free open source music production software. And hit the like button if this video was useful for you. It was such a place. See you around.